So, I've been told over the last couple hours, Smitty, you've been a little too crazy on this Devon Achane stuff, and it seems arrogant. You're not taking other people's thoughts into consideration in regards to the hate that is being thrown at this man. And I guess I'm here to say sorry, but I ain't stopping anytime soon. You might have a problem with me having a problem with the Devon Achane hate, but I'm sorry, I'm not going away. I'm not going anywhere. And maybe some of you think I'm a little too ramped up about it. I'm not listening to other opinions. I don't have to listen to anybody's opinion on this. I don't need to be considerate so this is my platform where I'm going to speak about how I feel about this man right here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the negativity and hate coming in on Achane's growing by the day from the box score bobbies. And we're here to stay. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
That's right. I'm here to say sorry. I'm not going to slow down. Because if somebody would say something intelligent on the topic, like, hey, Smitty, you know, I like him. I see it too. I see the talent. I believe in it. I have a couple other options that just feel safer. I'm going to be the guy that will regret it if I don't start him and I be cautious with him. That's one argument. But the amount of people continuing to come in and act like this guy's done when he's playing this week. Act like this guy's too small and he's done and he's injury prone when he could have come back into the game in week number 11. He missed week 12, precautionary, walking into week 13, gonna play, and you all can get as upset as you want that I'm not wavering. Oh, the earlier caller, Bijan Robinson, you just told everybody to like. You're going to continue to say, oh, Smitty's wrong on Bijan Robinson. First of all, I'm not wrong on Bijan Robinson. He is arguably the best back in football. And non-casuals understand that he is. And he is evolving into that player right now. I could care less what I said about Bijan. Bijan has nothing to do with Achane. Achane has nothing to do with Bijan. Even if you want to consider my take on Bijan a miss, it has nothing to do with Devon Achane. You can't tie Devon Achane to Bijan because I had a conversation with everybody over and over and over about Bijan being the RB1, which I still believe he is. He's not being used that way. We seem to see the tide turning there. Hopefully we continue to. But I'm not apologetic for swinging on something I believe to be true. Bijan Robinson is an absolute monster, and I think we're seeing that unfold more and more every single day as we head into weeks 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. In fact, Bijan still has time to be a top 5 running back when it's all said and done, even with the slow start. But this man, Devon Achane, is back. And if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock for the last 7 hours, Dolphins coach Miami Mike McDaniel said Devon Achane will play week number 13. On top of that, bring it back, boys. Bring it back. Okay, lower it. There we go. Slow, steady. Perfect. Thanks, Fred. Appreciate you.
Devon report to your shuttle to Saturn. Your shuttle is leaving.
Prepare for departure.
Yeah, no, Smitty, I just have something to say. I love your the guy in my comments said just a few minutes ago in one of my comments on YouTube, Smitty, I love your content. You're the best in the business. But, bro, it's nauseating how you don't appreciate another person's opinion. I don't have to appreciate anyone's opinion if I don't want to. That's why I created a channel, to do this myself. I mean, I love my audience. I pull my audience when I feel like I need to phone a friend. Hey, Smitty, do I start Godwin or Reed this week? Oh, let me phone a friend. Hey, audience, because I trust my audience. I love my audience, but I don't need to care what anybody thinks. If they think differently than me, this is my platform. This is where I get to come and say, top 5 running back. This is where I get to say, you can say whatever you want. I'm still going to say, hey, tearing down that argument, this man's top 5. I don't need to placate anything. This is how we do it.
Devon Achane, please report to your shuttle to Saturn. Your shuttle is leaving.
Prepare for departure. Touchdown probability high.
Touchdown probability is high. And while we're on the topic of the Miami Dolphins, this conglomerate, this monopoly on track stars in the NFL, Tyreek Hill removed from the Week 13 injury report. That's good news. That's good news. 2 track stars, 2 of the fastest running backs in the National Football League are full go for the Commanders. Can't wait to see it. I'm going. Are you watching football? I don't know about you, but when I've got the NFL Sunday ticket up and you get to choose 4 boxes, I'm going football, red zone, football, track and field. And that track and field is the Miami Dolphin game every single week. On the topic of monsters, we have a little man named Tank Dell that was questionable, or still is questionable, with a calf. Dell is listed as questionable, but for those living under a rock for the last 6 hours, head coach DeMeco Ryans says he expressed confidence in Dell playing Sunday against the Broncos. Fully expected to play as of right now. There are some other players that are questionable without some sort of indication positive from the coaching staff that they're playing. This is definitely one we're not worried about. Tank Dell is set for Saturn.
To the moon.
Moon first. Slingshot around the moon.
To Saturn.
To Saturn. Dell to the moon. Dell to the moon. Hey, if you got Tank Dell this week, you got Devon Achane this week, you're on your way, young man. You're on your way. Next piece of news here. Little Cooper Kupp removed from the Week 13 injury report. I know we're all a little worried about little Cooper Kupp and whether his cup is leaking. We don't know. There could be a leak. This might be an unfixable leak coming out of Cooper's cup. We don't know. What I do know is that he has a particular set of skills I believe he still might have. Skills that he's been accruing and making better for a long period of time. Skills that make his defenders scared to death of him. I think that Cooper Kupp, as risky as he is, if you bought him on the cheap the last week or two, as I advised, I said don't draft him. 100% said don't draft him. Don't draft Eckler. Don't draft a handful of these guys that are absolutely losing leagues like JT. Don't draft them. But there are buy low opportunities where there's a pressure point here where the other owner's freaking out and giving them away at a different value. There are so many casuals that come in here and say, Smitty, you're a flip-flopper. And that's fine. We don't need them to even be here. But you're a flip-flopper because you said don't draft Cooper Kupp. He's absolutely going to lose you a league, is what I said over and over and over. And now you're gone by Cooper Kupp. Which is it, Smitty? Tell me you don't know ball without telling me you don't know ball. Tell me you don't know my show by saying nothing. Of course we're going to go back and forth. The value changes. Cooper Kupp isn't what he was worth prior to the draft value. He was a first rounder that I ran away from. Now he can be had for peanuts. He can be had for pennies on the dollar. And he can win you a league at that value. And if he fails, he fails. If he's done, he's done. If his cup is leaking, it's leaking. If we can't put a little flex seal on that bad boy and get another 4 or 5, 6 games out of him, then we can't. Or 5 games. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares? You paid what? You paid what? Pennies on the dollar? You got him at the swap meet? If you can still trade, you go after him. You go after him. Little Cooper Kupp's not on the injury report, and I have a feeling that Puka Nacua is breaking through that rookie wall. Oh, Smitty, you didn't like Puka Nacua in week 1. So what? I have admitted that over and over. I'm a human being, and I got Cooper Kupp wrong, or Puka Nacua wrong. That is one of my L's, and I admit it. I admit it anytime anybody asks me. I don't run from that stuff. I missed on Puka Nacua, but I'm here to recognize real when real is sitting in front of me, and I believe that Puka Nacua, like a lot of rookies, Tank Dell, like Laporta, they hit rookie walls. They do similar things like this. Here's their graph. This is week 1. This is week 17. Rookies that start going off, they hit around weeks 9, 10, 11, 12, depending on just the rookie, depending on how early they got going, and they hit this rookie wall. The rookie wall could be 1 week long. It could be 2 weeks thick. It could be 3 weeks thick. It could be a thick rookie wall, and the bad ones break on through, get injured, and don't flourish or respond. The great rookies, and you can date this back to Jamar Chase's rookie year, he had like a 4 or 5 week rookie wall where I said, buy him, buy him, buy him, buy him. People got all upset. He's not bouncing back. Smitty, I bought him. He's not bouncing back. It took him a while. I even got a little nervous at the end of that rookie wall. He busted through, won people their championship single-handedly, Jamar Chase. Tank Dell kind of had a little rookie wall. Boom. Where's Tank now? I'll tell you where Tank is right now.
To Saturn.
And where did Laporta go? He was in a rookie wall phase. Where's Puka Nacua? Right here. And we even said this, when I use the term rookie wall, I'll even use it for Swift, who's not a rookie. He's going through a similar experience where I'm dripping all over with this marker. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What is going on here? This is an explosion here. Tank Dell exploding all over the board here. Every time I talk about Tank Dell, just all this, it looks like Jackson Pollock on the board here. If Tank Dell, Puka Nacua, even Swift, doesn't matter if the rookies experience the same kind of wall, whether it's their first year, their fourth year, their third year. If you've never been a starter, getting season-long volume, you hit a wall because you're used to a college schedule and season length. I fully believe Tank Dell, God, he's exploded. I don't even know how I got on this topic. Puka. Cooper Kupp, Puka, that's where I came from. Cooper Kupp, trade for him. Puka Nacua, trade for him. Do it live. Do it now. Keenan Allen, questionable for week 13. Now, this is one that feels, okay, well, Smitty, if Tank Dell's questionable and Keenan Allen's questionable, why are you a little more worried about this one? Because Tank has the support of his coach in terms of, yeah, we're really confident he's going to play. We aren't hearing that with Keenan Allen. And it does feel like Keenan Allen's gone a little bit backwards versus Tank Dell feeling like it's going a little bit forward. So we'll monitor this. He still could play. He's been injured all year. I'm frankly shocked. He's an older player. I'm frankly shocked he hasn't missed time. Like, I'm worried about him still missing like week 15, 16, 17 or something like that, and people being so pissed off because he started off so well. We've seen this before. Didn't JJ do it a year back or 2 years back where he was absolutely glorious, and then at the end of the season, it happens sometimes. I'm really worried about him. He's getting banged up. He's constantly injured. He has different injuries. He plays through them. He's an absolute machine. He's an absolute monster. Let's just hope he stays healthy and finishes out his probably last elite year. He's an older player. Aaron Jones will not play week 13. A.J. Dillon, assuming A.J. Dillon doesn't have some sort of setback, will start. Jaden Reed, is A.J. Dillon, what's A.J. Dillon's status? Let's pull up A.J. Dillon. That could have broke as I was getting prepared for the stream. Let me pull up A.J. Dillon real quick. Make sure A.J. Dillon isn't out. He was banged up. Just want to check. Ready for week 13. A.J. Dillon ready for week 13. I don't know that I trust him. Maybe why'd I send him to the moon? Let me pull that back. But good that you have an option if you have a situation like that. Jaden Reed, chest is questionable. This one we need to monitor. There's serious doubt, but there's also some upside that he could play. So don't like rule him out. Chris Olave is still in the concussion protocol. I don't expect him to pass through, but there's some optimism. DeAndre Swift removed from the injury report, has a tough Niner matchup, but it depends on your options. Some of you have like Devon Achane and you don't need to start him. A.J. Brown off the injury report. Devonta Smith off the injury report. Unbelievable, fantastic news. Anybody worried about those players need no worry no more. Appreciate you. Put you right there. And Swift, there's Devonta Smith. What do we have? We got Olave, we got Swift, went over Swift. David Montgomery removed from the injury report, and this is never something that disappoints me. Like if Gibbs is ever called upon to start full games again, we'll be fine with it. We'll obviously celebrate it. We'll be like, yes, he's going to get all the work. But this is good because he's been banged up a lot. They're being careful with him. They want to have both the running backs healthy. They're using Gibbs. Gibbs is the PPR guy. Monty seems to have phased out of that part of the equation so that they can keep him healthy. He's the between the tackles guy. Gibbs gets a lot of the better runs. Monty being out would likely lead to less yards per carry for Gibbs in some capacity, I think, because he would get tougher runs, a lot more tougher runs, which would drag down his average. So, look, if it ever comes the day where he's Gibbs starting by himself, which he wouldn't, they'd rotate in whoever. We'll celebrate it, but we're not worried about Monty. We're not rooting for Monty to not play. ETN, this is another questionable player. Limited Friday with the chest. Seems to be on track to play. Everything I'm hearing is he's more likely to play than not. There's more of a setback needed for him to not play, but we'll have to monitor that situation. This right here, Jair Alexander, cornerback for the Green Bay Packers, questionable. And this is obviously going to be good news for that KC receiving crew. So everybody catching footballs. I mean, this even helps Kelsey. It helps everyone because they're moving the football down the field. They're getting into the red zone more. And Rice is going to have a big day if Alexander sits. Not that he couldn't anyway, but it's definitely going to be a positive thing. Trey McBride, groin practice Friday. You're probably getting him in week number 13 if you got him. And Zach Ertz is no longer with the Cardinals. They parted ways with Zach Ertz, so that means it's McBride season. Goddard, arm, returned to practice on Friday. Monitor this situation. I don't know fully where there's some optimism, but there's still a lot of potential risk if you're just going to plug him in and go to sleep until Monday. So, be careful. Breece Hall, questionable. Again, this is similar. It's like, hey, we got questionable players like Tank Dell, fully confidence installed from the head coach and staff that he's going to play. Same thing with Breece Hall. Here's a report from NBC Sports. Breece Hall, questionable with a hamstring for week number 13 against the Falcons. Hall was limited in practice on Wednesday and Thursday, but upgraded to full on Friday. That is the part where he's still questionable, but it's definitely moving in the right direction. So Hall fully expected to play unless some sort of setback occurs. This one right here, this is news that was kind of shocking today. Dalton Schultz is ruled out for week 13. So that's a tough one. And then this news here, or no, that's Flacco. I have Noah Brown. Noah Brown's also questionable. He's not officially out, but if Noah Brown sits and Schultz sits, Collins and DK are both holding hands on their way
To the moon.
Dalton Schultz being out, immediately gives Tank Dell more targets, immediately opens up more room if Noah Brown does play for people worried about Noah Brown. It sucks for those of you that have Dalton Schultz. If you've got tight end dilemmas, we'll attack that. But definitely, make sure you don't leave that man in your lineup. I think that's it. I think we've covered it all. Was this Joe Flacco will start for the Browns, so DTR is out. Flacco will start. This is not great, but at the same time, it's like, is he going to do better anyway than the quarterback play they've been getting? Maybe. maybe, but is this a good thing for the Browns in general? You know, the offense churning out yardage and such. I don't think so. You never know. It's football. Look at what we thought the Cowboys were going to do to the at the time struggling Seattle Seahawks, and DK Metcalf said no. No. DK Metcalf said, I will not go into the dark night in week 13. I will have not 1, not 2. I will have 3 touchdowns.
You've just been Smitty approved.
And JSN, a man we love on this channel, potential league winning capability if anything happens to the wide receiver room, and still a very solid wide receiver 3-4 with bye weeks and injuries. If, let's say, no injury occurs in the wide receiver room ahead of him, then JSN, we love him. He comes in and has a touchdown that was overturned, but has still a glorious day. What was it? 7 receptions for, it was like 13, 14 fantasy points. Would have been a lot more, would have been over 20 had he caught that touchdown grab. JSN looking smooth right now. JSN.
To the moon.
Dare I say to the moon as well. JSN, we love him. Achane, we love him. Tyreek Hill, he's playing amazing football right now. He is off the injury report. Tank Dell, he should be a go. That's your news. Cooper Kupp's a go. Trade for him on the cheap. Puka Nacua, trade for him on the cheap. Fantasy Football Show news portion of the show is over, and now it's time for some supers and then phone calls. First super chat of the day gets a standing O. Aaron, not missing this, Smitty. I love the energy from you always. Thank you, pal. I've even got to pull back like you can't believe, bro. But we're doing it live. We're going to work. That's how we roll. This is a $20 hauler from Joe. You're a monster, Joe. 5-7, 12-team PPR, must win. Lineup QB, Law, running back CMC, Achane, phenomenal. Waddle, Olave. Olave's probably not going to play. Just keep an eye on that. Everett, flex. If Olave goes, would you start Deontay Johnson? No. Mixon at flex, probably Mixon. But Deontay's like on the outs with the team. He's in the doghouse. I'm not starting. If Olave's hurt, no choice. But yeah, but it sounds like he'll play. I don't know if he'll play. Practicing doesn't determine he's going to go through the protocol. He's still currently in the concussion protocol, as I have on this freshly news clip right here. Olave's still in the concussion protocol. He can practice all he wants. It doesn't take him out of the protocol. It's a good sign that they're not like, oh, usually when a player's in the protocol and then they don't practice, they're in big trouble. It doesn't indicate one way or the other, but it tells you that if he's not practicing, he must still be like himself being like, I still feel symptoms. It's still hard. Even if he's not feeling symptoms, it's not easy to get out of the protocol because you got to do it at a certain amount of speed to not have symptoms. And on top of that, almost every player sits out the next week. It's only been a handful, you can count on one hand, and most of them have been 49ers that have gone back in the next week. So I wouldn't count your chickens until they hatch, pal. But Joe, appreciate your $20 hauler, and if you got a dilemma in a little bit, we'll circle back, my guy. $10 hauler. In my flex, I have Achane or Deontay Johnson, Josh Downs, or Swift. In my flex, I have Achane or... I mean, Achane is a top 5 running back, my man Campbell. So Achane shouldn't even be in this conversation. If you're asking me which player out of this is Devon Achane, bro. It's Devon.
Devon Achane, please report to your shuttle to Saturn. Your shuttle is leaving.
Prepare for departure. Touchdown probability high.
This is your pick. But aside from that, in case you need another player, I'm going to say, Downs is safe. Swift is higher upside, but higher risk given the matchup against the Niners. But that's probably how I would handle that pecking order. But, I mean, Achane's miles above everybody. Bella, check yourself. $5 hauler. Diggs, Kelsey, Gibbs, Tony Pollard, Javonte, Garrett Wilson, Fields, Justin Herbert, Amari Cooper, and Justin Tucker. Calvin Ridley, my dynasty team. Solid, bro. Diggs. I mean, I like the fact that you can win now, but you still have some quietly good future players. Not quietly good, but like Garrett Wilson's kind of quietly good because I still think he's got top 5 wide receiver ability, and he's being discarded in redraft. to the tune of like a low-end wide receiver 2. Some people would say wide receiver 3. And that has an effect on his value no matter what league format you're in. So he's certainly a sleeper. Pollard's got sleeper value. Diggs is older. Kelsey and Diggs, I'd be tempted to shop them, but I certainly wouldn't sell them for like late first rounders if you think you could win again next year, because they both probably should do well. The problem with Kelsey's a guy I will recommend you draft, but trade him by like the end of the first month to be safe. That's going to be a big approach of mine with players that I feel won't stay healthy in 2024. If I believe they're going to be popping off in week 1, there'll be a draft for us. There'll be a player we draft. As long as your league can allow for trading, we'll just have a heavy emphasis on hold temporarily, but draft. You know what I'm saying? Joe, appreciate you, Joe. Joe to the moon. Need to start 3 running backs and start 3, running back 1, running back 2, and flex. Okay. Achane, Bijan. Chad, are we starting Etienne or Mostert? Etienne or Mostert? Sharp's already played. I'd almost hedge my bets and go Mostert and Achane. It's the Commanders too. But Etienne's hard to play. I think because Etienne has the chest injury, it's going to have me lean towards starting both of the Miami backs. Plus, they both could have really, really solid games. And at the end of the day, Etienne and Mostert could be equals. McBride. Okay, Hall, Dell, Tua, McBride for Allen, Kelsey. Hall, Dell, Tua, McBride. I'm going to take Allen and Kelsey. Tank for Gibbs. I'd probably lean Gibbs by a hair, but I love both of them a lot. But I would do the Kelsey Allen side, and I like that trade a lot. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Doesn't mean I don't love Tank Dell. Doesn't mean I don't like a lot of the players involved. It's a very, very tough one. In a buying lucky, had Metcalf and Sharps. Do I play Hunt or pick up Dearness Johnson? I play Hunt. Hunt's not on the injury report anymore either. So I think that's a pretty decent play for you. Phone line is open. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Christopher Smith phone line. Christopher Smith phone line. Dial in, and if someone drops a $431 super chat this month or in the month, well, it is December. Anytime this month, you will have your name on the phone line. Okay, let's erase this mess that Tank Dell made on the board here. And Achane is too petite, said ER. That was a great one. Then we had the other Bobby, an actual Bobby. He was an actual box score Bobby. His name was Bobby. Call in and just act like Bijan had anything to do with Devon Achane. That Achane and Bijan were even, because one prediction didn't unfold the way we wanted, that meant Achane had to not work out. That's some of the logic that people are bringing to the table with Devon Achane. Is absolutely ludicrous. 404 caller. Who is this and where are you calling from?
This is
Kevin from Georgia. What can I do for you, Kevin?
Hey man, Smitty, I agree with you on the Achane. I have him also.
Yeah.
Quick question. Achane, Kamara, and Kyren Williams. I need 2.
Achane, Kamara, and Kyren.
Yes, sir.
Bro, this is tough because Kyren is a must. Kyren is a must play. Absolute must play.
I called you.
Kamara might be the second or third best start of the week at running back.
Right.
You're telling me you don't have a flex spot?
No, I don't. We don't have a flex in my league.
God, you should have made a trade.
We have 1 QB, 2 running backs.
Kevin, I wish you made a trade. I don't know how, like in this situation, this is one of the only situations I could even imagine saying there is enough risk. Is there risk? There's risk with every single one of these players. Kyron's got re-injury risk. Achane's got re-injury risk. Kamara's older. He could break down at any freaking moment, and his offense is stagnant sometimes. So, like, I don't want to hear anybody say, did Smitty just admit there's risk? Of course there's a little risk with Achane, but it's, like, minute compared to his upside. This is the only time where I would say at this current moment, like, and let me emphasize how much I love all three of these so that I can emphasize my point. I'm not going to even utter the words bench Achane. I can't even get myself to do it. But
I can't even.
Yeah. So let me just tell you my ranking of these running backs. Kyron's got to be like 2 or 3 for me for RBs this week. Right. Kamara's got to be like 2 to 4, and Achane is 2 to 5. So the problem is there's overlap. That means Achane could be, in my mind, the second best running back this week, but he also has a little bit more, do they ease him back risk. I'm not worried about the re-injury. Everybody could get hurt. Kyron could get re-injured. Like, everyone's crazy about this re-injury thing. They're freak knee injuries. They're freak knee injuries. I'm not worried about re-injury at all. It's more so, do they ease him back? Do the Commanders get up huge, or do the Commanders go down big and the Dolphins get up huge and then they just kind of rest them in the second half? All that makes me say this is 2 to 5. So 2 to 3, right. 2 to 4, 2 to 5. You have 3 top 5 running backs this week. I can't say sit Achane. I can't do it. The overlap is there, but this is do what you will with my ranking. That's all I can do for you. I can't. It's like telling me to pick a child. Which child do you love more? I'm not doing it.
I feel exactly the same way, man. That's why I called you. I said, I need some help with this one. This one's too tough.
Yeah, bro, you got an awesome dilemma. It's awesome, but it is a dilemma nonetheless. And part of me wishes you were able to pull off a trade, get rid of one of these guys for a wide receiver like Diggs, and then go in. But, God, no flex spot? That's crazy. That's crazy.
And let me tell you my last running back, K9.
Okay. Well, at least he's not saying this is good, but at least you don't have a dilemma with it right now. He's resting. Right. He's resting.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Hey, Kevin, nice work.
Yeah. Hey, man, you the man. I love watching, man. I appreciate all your hard work.
I appreciate you. Later. 407 caller, you're live. Who's this? Where are you calling from? 407.
Smitty. I've been listening to you all season. I got to big you up. I got Achane. I got Tank Dell. I'm not showing off, but I just had to call you because this week means a lot.
Hey, wait.
Answer my question.
Real quickly, what was your name and where are you calling from?
Jermaine Campbell. You already answered my question about in my flex, Achane, Deontay, Swift.
Okay.
And but I just have to look. I'm a member. I paid. I've been listening to you all season. You've been right all season. I don't care what anybody said earlier today.
I've missed stuff. But go ahead. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. What? Yeah. Okay.
One last thing.
Yeah.
In the defense or Kansas City.
Indy or Kansas City?
Yep.
That's.
And I'm also listening live.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Indy, Kansas City. KC's always a solid D. Let me pull up the. I had a couple stats here that might be able to help me with this as well. Let me also put the schedule up for everybody else, which will be super helpful. KC's on the road, right? KC's on the road, Green Bay, and you said Indy, right? Indy at Tennessee. I guess I would say, like, I think Love is on. He's tuned up enough right now. I know that's a Sunday night game though, a spotlight, but that doesn't mean it won't benefit Love. You know what I mean? So as much as I want to picture the KCD doing good and Love doing good, like maybe there's a world where that happens. I kind of feel like Tennessee is going to be the most vulnerable to have a lot of mistakes occur, and Indy's been kind of crafty, man. And I think this is a game where I'd probably go Indy. That's me.
All right.
But you got to trust your gut because I'm almost forcing an answer here. It's really hard to sit KC.
I know. Welcome to my world. Because in my league for the last 14 years, I've been getting hated on. And I got to win. But listen, before I go, I'm in Jamaica. Right now in Jamaica, we're listening to you. When I get back to Florida, I just want to say, you're worth it. You got a fan for life now, Jermaine Campbell. And you know your so don't listen to nobody else.
Yeah, Jermaine from Jamaica. Let me put that in the system so I know.
I'm calling from a Florida number. I'm in Jamaica right now, but I'll be calling from Florida number all the time.
Okay. Or
my
Florida.
Man, I listen to you at 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning.
Are you?
I change my schedule.
Are you saying I tuck you in at night? Is that what you're saying?
I don't want pause, but yes, you do. I
hey.
get up in the middle of the night. My wife is like, "What you doing?" You don't
I
understand.
take
I've been
pride.
listening to them all. Listen,
I take pride in that.
I know you're a busy dude. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I'm listening live right now, right here in Jamaica, and everybody. Smitty, you're my dude.
Hey.
You're worth the money.
I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate it. Jermaine, just to give you a little reference to that, I'm looking at data across the entire industry in terms of the roster setting and the who's playing who's starting who. And the data suggests that KC's around 7, 8, 9 ranked in week 13 as a defense, and the Colts are around 12 or 13. So the data suggests logically that the KC Chiefs are the better start. I just trust your gut on it, man. It's not something that's easy to call, and defensive scoring is crazy sometimes. Sometimes matchups can be tricky. They can trick you. Like, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Like, who would have not thought the Dallas Cowboys were a fantastic start last night? Doesn't matter if you still like DK and you thought Sharp was gonna do good. Geno has been struggling on and off all year, and the Dallas Cowboys and Rockout's on the line right now. He got -1 point, I think he said, in his one league for the Dallas Cowboys start against the Seattle Seahawks. So trust your gut, bro. If your last second you're like, I'm just going safe, go KC. But KC safer, Indy's higher risk, higher reward.
Perfect example, last week, Casey. I'm going to stop right there. Perfect example. But I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with Indy. I'm going to get off the phone because I know you're a busy man. I listen to your show all the time. I'm happy to get through. There will be a lot of calls going forward.
Wait for me. I'll tuck you in later tonight. Appreciate you, bro. To the man, to the moon.
Easy.
To the moon. Okay, let's go over to Marsman Rock Out. Marsman Rock Out, you are live, young man.
Cowboys had -3 for me.
-3. That's horrible. That's unbelievable, bro. That's unbelievable.
But my opponent got the Eagles, so maybe the 49ers might give them a negative.
That's unbelievable, bro. Like, as much as I was rooting for DK, I wanted Sharps to do good. I never would imagine Geno would have scored 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 running. DK gets 3. Sharps punches 1 in. Pure domination from one perspective anyway. But goodness gracious, bro. All right. Let's see here. What could I do for you, bro?
Yeah, I need 1 running back, 1 receiver, and 1 flex, and pick between these 4: Moss, Ridley, Wilson, and Swift.
Say that again one more time. Swift,
Moss, Swift, Ridley, Wilson.
And how many?
Garrett Wilson.
How many do you need?
I need a running back, wide receiver, and flex.
Running back is going to be Moss. Your wide receiver is going to be Ridley. Your flex, chat, please vote Swift or Garrett Wilson. Swift is probably the safer play. His volume's going to be there. He's been running really smooth and strong. He's rejuvenated. I really love what Swift's throwing down right now. I really think he broke through that first year wall where it was a long season for him. But it's a tough matchup. But the Niners have been routed before by RBs. Kyron tore them apart, but that was a different defense and defensive situation. But Garrett Wilson, it's like, I mean, is he really more upside and less risk than the Niners matchup? I don't know. It's a tough one. And Atlanta's a pretty. I could see us being like a close game, but. Or a game where, let's say, the Jets are down and they're throwing and still in it, so there's some quality targets going Garrett Wilson's way. I'd probably lean with Swift myself, but let's see what the chat thinks. Chat, vote Swift or Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is at home against the Falcons, as you can see on screen, and his other option was Swift, who is in the afternoon game against the Niners, but at home. I'm gonna rule Swift. By a hair.
Yeah, I got Swift right now.
By a hair, bro. By a hair. Let's see what the chat says. The chat says Swift. CMC is finishing top 3 versus Philly. Says Daniel. I mean, yeah, because the reasons, if that's a serious question and you want me to answer why Swift would be a top 3 running back, is he doesn't run for 100 yards on the regular. He's an equal part receiver. He could have 90 receiving yards and a touchdown, 120 receiving yards and a touchdown, and 25 rushing yards. Like, CMC is the definition of matchup proof. And very, very few defenses in the National Football League are going to shut a player like CMC down because the team will use him on in all facets of the offensive game plan. So not worried about CMC finishing top 3 at all. All right, rock out, hang tight. I think the Swift vote gets it, but all right, hang tight real quick. Rock out. Bay Area, you're live.
Yo, hey, Mr. Smitty, how you doing?
What's up, my man?
Hey, real quick. So I had CD Lamb last night, so I did okay.
Congrats.
You know, so.
You did okay. You did okay. Look at the humbleness of this guy. I did okay. I had a pretty decent night. I had CD Lamb score like 30 points for me. Okay, go ahead. What can we help you with? Rich man problems.
I feel like I'm good. I'm good on the wide receiver front. I got Nico Collins as my wide receiver 2 right now. But my dilemma here is, and I know I heard your talk about Achane. So I got Bijan, I have Achane, Rachaad White, and then I have Jalen Warren. So obviously, I'm trying to figure out, would it make sense to start White over Warren? Because I feel like you're obviously going to go Achane and Bijan as my RB1 and RB2. Who do you put in flex between Jalen Warren, or Rachaad White?
This sounds like a man that doesn't want to get take a lap button pressed or anything. You're well prepared. He put a box around Bijan and Achane before I even got to it. He made sure he isolated them out. This guy, you play basketball, good defense, bro. You boxed me out. White and Warren is definitely the dilemma. Not to say these guys couldn't finish above one of these guys. It's football. It's NFL. Any given Sunday, a guy like McCaffrey could have 5 points. It happens to the best of us. But I'd probably say with this situation, bro, as much as I do like Warren, I do. He's not. I don't want to say he's a bad play, but he's a surprise type play right now because of what happened last week. We have Najee Harris potentially taking back over, not the whole backfield, but it was like there was a 1A and a 1B, and now and Warren got handed the baton. He's now the leader. He's the anchor. And then all of a sudden, Najee took it back with a new offensive coordinator, 400 yards produced by the offense, and it worked. And that's the problem with an enabling situation, is when you make a move like that and make the wrong call. And I know some people are going to say, Smitty, how is it the wrong call when Najee played amazingly? And I get that, but who's to say Warren wouldn't have done better with those touches? We can have a different argument. It's neither here nor there. But just because Algier scores 2 early touchdowns at the beginning of the year, it wasn't the right move to use Algier over Bijan, is kind of what my point is here. So I think Warren is the best running back by far in the backfield, but it seems like Najee has taken it back over a little bit. And so for that reason, you kind of have to go with the hot hand, the receiving monster at the moment in Rachaad White. But it's tough. I mean, in Carolina, like I'm taking that matchup. I'm taking everything because I think the Bucs are going to run the ball. And even if they don't, again, he's CMC-like in that I'm not calling him CMC, but he has some of the same attributes in terms of his balance of his game. And you could literally have 20 yards and Rachaad White can still have a 20-point fantasy football performance because he is one of the better pass-catching backs in the National Football League. So he's kind of matchup-proof. Like, they're down. They're checking it down to him. He's getting yardage. He gets 100 total yards probably, even if he gets shut down, But I don't think he will get shut down on any side of the game plan to use him. So I go White, but that's me.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was feeling the same way. I just wanted to kind of feel it. Because, honestly, I was definitely flip-flopping before I saw your video on Achane. Because, I was one of those, let's say what you say, petrified Peters.
Yeah,
I was like, all right.
It's all right.
Because, obviously I put Achane in last week or the week before, and then obviously kind of judged me a little bit. And then I had Warren that was sitting on the bench, and he dropped like 20 points. I was like, fuck.
I don't mind when someone's a petrified Peter. Like, it doesn't make me mad. Everybody's, that's fine. We all have those moments. We all have those weeks. We all have those fears. I'm a petrified. I'll give you an example. I'm a petrified Peter when it comes to the Jets scoring a touchdown and I'm waiting for a flag. I'm just sitting there shivering like a petrified Peter. Breece Hall punches in a touchdown run. Oh, God, here comes the flag. There's the flag every single time. There's no fail. Breece Hall ran that touchdown in the other day. I was like this. I know this is going to be a flag. I 100% know. I know. And, of course, there's a flag. No Breece Hall touchdown. That was what the week prior. It's every time. So it's okay to be a petrified Peter. If you got burned by Achane getting injured, that's fine. The problem I have is the hate. You're not hating on him. You're just scared of him. And that's okay. Right. Sometimes great things are scary. Sometimes the best are intimidating. And he is the best. He is great. And everybody's saying he's too small. He's going to get injured. It's just nonsense, bro. It's regret. It's regret that they didn't take him. Scott. That's all it is. It's scared Scott. Scared Scott, be quiet. It's all that. Hey, scared Scott. Scared Scott. Peter. Just mute yourself real quick, but I'm glad you called in. I thought maybe you hung up last time we were on the line. I just want to make sure you're okay. You know you're my boy, Blue. You know that no matter what, thick and thin, no matter if we disconnect the phone line from you, if you say something crazy, you always got a home here, Scott. And it's always a clean slate every time you dial in, no matter if you get hung up on or not. I just want you to know that, okay? So hold on real quickly. Bay Area, I got to let you go and jump to the next caller. Appreciate you, bro.
No, for sure. Likewise, man. Thank you.
All right, let's go on that note. Let's go to Scared Scott real quick, and then I'll jump over to Kirkwood, then I'll jump over to Al. Scared Scott.
Start off home here, Scott. I was just calling in because you kept saying petrified Peter, and I was irritated. It should be a scared Scott.
I'm sorry. Scared Scott is on the phone. Scared Scott. He is our resident scaredy cat on the channel. He's our mascot of fear. Scott, what can I do for you?
All hail Scott.
Yeah. Everybody drop a scared cat emoji right now for Scared Scott. What can I do for you, Scaredy Scott?
Nothing really. I was just calling in because you kept saying petrified Peter.
You just felt jealous.
Scott.
You were just a little jealous. I don't mind. I understand.
I was real jealous.
Yeah. You were probably
later,
are you out of here? All right. Scared Scott. I'm gonna give you. Can I send you to the moon? Are you scared about that? Is that okay?
To the moon.
You scared of heights?
Send me to the moon.
To the moon.
I'm not scared of heights.
Later, Scott. Al from New York, then Kirkwood. Al, go ahead, pal.
Schmitty, just wanted to call you and say you're a savage. Savage Schmitty is what I'm going to call you. If I could, I'd send you to Pluto.
Thank you, bro.
Because you're up there.
Send me to Saturn.
That Metcalf call was unreal. And, just
what was your question on the Metcalf call? I just forget everybody's questions, bro.
It was Metcalf or London because I got so many guys on by.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I want to say that was such an amazing call, it's pretty easy. But the breakdown of it when you called, I think I remember, is just like, okay, look, could either one of these guys outscore the other? Absolutely. DK, like I said, one-dimensional DK sometimes. But when they feed this man, he can do it. He is more capable of London, given, I think what I said to you was the quarterback situation's bleak, but at least we know it's there. Here, we don't know it's there. This is a situation where it's like London has to just drag his body across the finish line to get a 90-yard game. And a touchdown, forget about it. This guy could have a touchdown and 40 yards pretty easily in a struggling game. And the fact that the Seahawks, I predicted, would be playing down, playing flush and going back and forth is just as good. But that would give him an opportunity to get more work. London's probably going to see his offense surprisingly up in their game on week number 13. So the game plan for Atlanta should be to run the damn ball. Now, will Arthur Smith do that? I don't know. Arthur Smith's hard to trust, but it's going to be the Falcons trying to run the ball down the Jets' throat is going to be the game plan, hopefully. But I appreciate you calling back in. I'm glad that worked out for you. DK to the moon. He's unbelievable. What else can I do for you?
That's it. Have a good night, Smitty.
All right, Al,
Talk
later.
to you probably Sunday.
All right, later, Al. This is Kirkwood. Kirkwood, what can we do for you, Kirkwood?
What's up, Smitty? Good evening. First of all, I'd like to co-sign with my brother in Jamaica. He's on point. Two, I want to ask I have a 12-team, 1-point PPR, and I got Kamara, Achane, Kyren, and Brees.
Kamara.
Where's
Kamara, Achane,
Kyren,
and Brees. And how many can you start?
I can start 3 well, with the flex, because I got Waddle, Dell, and Watson.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy. And you may have seen my other take on this, where I said Kamara's a...
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Kyren Williams is a 2 to 3 play this week. I said Achane was a 2 to 5 start this week, and Kamara was a 2 to 4 start this week. Meaning you have 3 top 5 running backs for me this week.
Right.
So Brees Hall's not... Like, is he capable of being top 10? Sure. Like, he rips off... Brees Hall is capable. He's like in the top 3 in 20-plus yard runs, I think. So where was that? I have that graphic somewhere... Here, is it right here? I think it's right here. No, that's not it. I think it was. Oh, was it 40-plus yard runs? It was 40-plus yard runs. Let me find that graphic. One second. I want to pull it up.
No, I'm with you.
Here it is, right here. So he's second. So Achane. Oh, would you look at that? Achane, number 1 in the NFL. Guy's played 3 games really, and he's number 1 in the National Football League still in 40-plus yard runs, and he's 3rd in 20-plus yard runs. Achane. All right, we're talking about Brees Hall. Brees Hall, 2nd in the NFL in 40-plus yard runs. You can see that right here. I'll highlight it right here on the screen so everybody can see it for themselves. 40-plus yard runs, Achane 4, the monster, and 3 for Brees Hall. So back to what I was saying, back to my cautionary tale, benching him. It's always cautionary. You guy can rip off a 50, 60, 70-yard touchdown at 140 total yards at a touchdown, and you'll come into the live stream, and you'll see us cheering, jumping into the air. I'm not going to get these questions right all the time, but, bro, right. I'm telling you, Achane top 5 for me, top 2 to 5, Kyren top 2 to 3, Kamara top 2 to 4. The overlap makes it tough to really rank the 3 together, but the overlap also kind of helps you kind of know my pecking order.
Right. Well, and with regards to another league, you like Bijan, or you just think it's going to be with the matchup? It's going to be tough plow.
Well, the matchup is good. The matchup is actually really, really, really conducive to a big run attack because the Jets can be run upon. Throwing on them is a different story, and the fact that the Jets can't move the football down the field very easily, if the Falcons are able to run successfully from the jump and get some points on the board, then guess what? They continue to run the ball. So, but as last night should have reminded us, not taught us, we knew this already, but reminded us that matchups don't always mean anything. They can be jack squat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, right on, bro. Hey, I want you to remember, Saturn has several moons, so you can pick the one you want to go to.
I'll go to Saturn. Thank you. I'm sending you to Saturn. I've already been there. I'll send you there.
To Saturn.
I had to go scope it out, make sure it was safe for all of you to go. So, thank you, pal. Kirkwood to the moon. All right, rock out. Anything else, bro?
That's about it.
Rock out to the moon. Call back if you got another one, pal. Later. Amy, what can I help you with? You're live.
Hey.
What's up?
So, I just want to say I am so grateful for you. I know everybody else is saying that, but I want to say it too. You have a great community.
Thank you.
Like everybody on the chat. And I just want to say this is my first year playing, and everybody kind of made fun of me. Everybody else was kind of pros.
It's not
but
nice.
Now I'm kicking everybody's butt.
That's awesome.
So I'm super excited from following you. So, and everybody else. So I just want to say shout out to everybody. I just really appreciate it. And then I do have a quick question.
Okay.
I'll be very quick. So with the players I have, I just want to know, I've got 4. I have Gibbs, Williams, Monty, Lamb, Dell, Collins, London. And then my kind of under ones, like underdogs, are Rice, Charbonnet, Reed. So there's some on waivers, and I'm just trying to figure out how I know which ones to grab and which ones not to grab.
All right.
I keep like dropping and picking up, but I want to do what's good for my team.
All right, so this is your team. Gibbs, Javonte Williams?
No, Kyron.
Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to offend your roster. Holy crap. Okay.
That was for me. I grabbed everybody. When
All right. So, Kyron, Gibbs, Monty, Lamb, Dell, Nico, Rice, Sharps, Reed. Who's your quarterback?
You got London. My quarterback is Tua.
Tua, okay. Who I still like, by the way. Okay, so your wide receiver or your free agent players, give me the top couple running backs, the top couple wide receivers.
I'm going 4. Rice, Charbonnet, Reed. That's it. That's kind of who I've left.
Rice, Charbonnet, Reed are on waivers?
No. They're the ones that I have.
Okay.
The ones that are on waivers are Josh Downs, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Keaton Mitchell, Higgins, Pickens, Herbert, and Jahan Johnson.
Okay.
So that's who's left.
And who? Johnson who? Deontay?
No, Jahan.
Johnson. Okay. Dotson. Okay.
Yeah.
Looking at the squad, I mean, the team's phenomenal. These are the players you're considering dropping, Rice, Sharps, and Reed as your worst players, I don't think any of these players necessarily beat them out. I would say you've got good wide receivers. I like Reed. He's kind of banged up right now. If I was to make a move, like a big swing move, I probably would say give me Mitchell. And if, like, let's say something happens to Gus Bus, who he's, torn his ACL, he's always been hurt, had an injury history. If something happened to him, Mitchell could skyrocket, like, in the final, 2 weeks. There's always a player that has a monster week 16 and 17, like, just out of nowhere crazy. He very much would, he'll probably be in my top 5 rankings for that show, and I'll do a show like that. Like, who could be this year's guy that just in week 16, 17 has that big game? Mitchell would be one of the top dogs for it. But saying that, Reed is still very crafty. He's scoring touchdowns. He looks really good. He's super fast. He's an absolute good receiver. But that would be my guess here, because I don't think that Lamb's getting unseated. I don't think Dell or Nico, and even Nico's hard to sit. Rice, so Reed would be the expendable one, but it's a tough call to make. I don't know if you have anybody else you can cut.
I mean, well, as far as cutting, I mean, like dropping them to pick up on waivers. I have Sharps and Rice and Reed. That's it. And then I do have, I was thinking about picking up another quarterback, though, just in case, because somebody dropped Goff and his Carr and Pickett. But I know they're probably going to pick him up again.
Goff. Who's your backup quarterback?
I don't have one.
Okay. I probably would grab Goff. It would be safe, but that's a tough one because, who do you drop? Who are your tight ends? Do you have just one?
I have right now, let me see, I have the Chargers, but I also picked up, the chat kind of helped me with this, to pick up the Ravens, just because someone's probably going to grab them.
No, not defense. Who's the tight end?
Oh, my tight end? It's, really, seriously? I can't think. Wait a minute.
That's okay. If you've got a backup you're not using in the
Laporta.
Okay, you're good there. Okay, so if you've got do you have a backup tight end or no?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably wouldn't hold 2 defenses over holding a backup quarterback, because if Tua were to go down and he's one hit away, even though he's got big upside, you'd be screwed at quarterback. So I would rather have Goff than a second tight end. I'd probably rather have Goff than, I think you said you had London as well. I hate dropping London, but how you going to use London anyway? So I'd contemplate dropping Reed or London for Goff. Mitchell, it would be Mitchell and Goff for me, using probably Reed and London. I hate to say it. London could be amazing, but I just don't know that he'll be consistent enough to use. London might have 100. Let me just get the I don't know, situation out of the way for you of what could play out. London's going to have probably 100-yard and a touchdown game between now and week 17. But the game he has it, I almost guarantee you won't have him in your lineup anyway, because he's been so inconsistent and will remain.
Right.
And so it's even if he blows up, you can't later on go, man, I had him, because you probably wouldn't have had him in your lineup. But I think Mitchell and Goff help you win, and that's the objective here in week 13.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and then you're saying keep Sharp, keep Rice.
Yeah, I mean, like depending on Charbonnet updates, if let's say he goes on IR or something, then that's going to be a guy you put on IR that opens up a spot. If your league doesn't have IR, then you have to make a move. But as of right now, the news on Charbonnet dealing with significant swelling, that's not good.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll said Friday Charbonnet's bruised knee puffed up pretty crazy Thursday night. So hopefully, can you put a player on IR if they're out, if they're ruled out, or do they have to be on injured reserve, the official NFL injured?
I think they have to be on IR. I can look.
Hey,
Sure
Ricardo has a good point. He said, no, I don't think she has Deontay. Deontay, I think, was available on waivers, Ricardo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I would do anyway. But ask questions in the chat too. They'll be able to guide you a little bit. And then don't forget we have.
Out, but now they understand too because they were kind of like going back and forth.
And don't forget we were talking about Discord earlier on thefantasyfootballshow.com. The top right corner, there's a Discord. You could join that too. Also, on the Instagram, like I said,
did that.
Anybody has Instagram and they want to be in a chat group, we have that. You can hit subscribe there, but you don't need to do that. I just want to let you know there's places to go. All right, appreciate you.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. Okay, let me hit these super chats we got here. Asan, that's an old one, I think. Asan, appreciate you. Asan to the moon. Where is it? I think it's right here on this screen. There we go. A couple more super chats here. G Money dropping a $20 wad on screen. G Money, that's unbelievable. Smitty, for a while now, guys, I've been with Smitty for a while now. Trust me, his advice may not have you winning every game. Well, that's underhanded there, G Money. But he wins championships. Trust the process, Smitty. I'll take it. I'll tell you, it took a turn. I'll admit your review took a turn, but then it came back strong. Let's go. Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
The restaurant you're about to eat at, every meal is not going to smash, but it's damn good food. That's right. I'm just kidding, G-Money. G-Money to the moon. Appreciate you. This car, it will once in a while have a problem, but man, it's going to be unbelievable when you drive it. Okay. Olat, appreciate you. Pick one. Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins, or Tank Dell. I'm going to go with Tank Dell. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Deontay Johnson? T. Higgins? Where have they been? Tank Dell. The only reason, and I say this a lot, the only reason you be asking this question at all is if you haven't been playing Dell. There's no way that you've been starting Tank. I guess the questionable tag you're saying, but you'll know if he's playing. You know what I mean? So that shouldn't be a factor on why you might sit him. But that would be the only reason if you're worried about but he's questionable. But I've already gone over that in the news section. He's supposed to start. There's no question at all in my mind. The questionable tag is scary to a lot of people, but the coaches already said confidence he's going unless he has a setback. So stay on that. But you can't sit Tank Dell for two guys that haven't been around doing anything at all this year. Deontay's in the doghouse on top of that. Started Pollard or CD. Thank you for the super chat, though. Started Pollard and CD. Have Gibbs, St. Brown, Dell in the flex. Who do I sit for Achane? Jeez, bro. Guys, does he sit? Does he sit one of these guys for Achane? This is one of those scenarios where you have nothing but studs. This is an uncomfortable question. This makes me very uncomfortable, Cody. I don't like being put in this position about three of my favorite players. I guess I would say the only thing that would have me even hesitating on Dell over Achane, or Achane over Dell, would come down to the injury piece and the fact that Dell is banged up. Could he come out of the game? That makes me want to play Achane. Gibbs is phenomenal. He's an amazing start. How do you, what do you do here? What do you do here? I don't know. Chat, vote on this one. Who do you sit? He's got... Man, I wouldn't have. You know who I wouldn't have played? And he had a good day, but I wouldn't have played Pollard over Achane. Achane would have been worth waiting on, I think. Then again, I think if you asked me that on the clock right before the game kicked off, I might tell you, I probably would have given you a double talk answer and said, start Pollard for safety, high risk, high reward moves, Achane. Jeez, man. That is so tough, bro. That is so tough. I'd probably say, I don't know. I think I would waiver on this one. I'm just going to be honest with you. I could make up something and force an answer, but I think I would waiver all the way up to kickoff. I think I would swap it in and out. Dell for Achane over and over. I would just keep jumping back and forth all freaking night long. Walking into kickoff. Unbelievable. Sit your kicker. I wish you could start another flex that way, but I'm sure he cannot. Downs, Deontay, Johnson, or London. I'm going to go Downs. I trust the rapport between Minshew and Downs. Trade Kyren for Achane. No, because Kyren is, like I said, he's a top 2 to 3 RB going forward. Achane's 2 to 5. They're neck and neck, but there is that potential range that's slightly wider for Achane than Kyren. So it's like, I don't know. I'd lean Kyren. Kyren's been doing it all year, and I know he got injured for a brief time, but it was shorter than Achane. I just think that you're asking about, do I trade for the running back 2 overall for the running back 3-ish overall? It's preference at this point. Maybe if you have other Kyren shares, you kind of hedge your bets and you go with Achane. If you've got, vice versa. Have JJ, PPR Superflex, must win Sunday to make the playoffs. Do I trade JJ for Achane? Absolutely. Kincaid on a bye. 100%, bro. 100%. JJ for Achane is a smash. Avon, appreciate you. Help Smitty. I don't know if I missed it. Is Olave playing? There's no news. He's still in the protocol, which is not good news for him playing, and I can count on one hand how many players have played the next week after a concussion, and they're almost always 49ers. Whatever reason they have the in on that. But him being practicing and all that doesn't necessarily indicate that he's playing. It just means that the team doesn't feel he's, incapable of playing. Most times when a player is not practicing, in addition to being in the protocol, that means that it's a blatantly obvious he's still way affected. Whereas he's not blatantly obviously affected. He's practicing, but he still hasn't passed through the protocol. But keep an eye on it. We'll know tomorrow, I think. Start 1, Downs, Pickens, Dortch. I think I already answered this one or one like it, but Downs for me, I like the rapport between Minshew and Downs. Let's see, Bleezo, pick 3, start Brees, Achane, Ramondre, Gibbs. Achane and Gibbs are locked, so the real question is here, Ramondre or Brees. Very, very easy, or not easy, a very fun call. And Ramondre, if Zeke is out and Zeke is questionable, then Ramondre's probably safer. But Brees is higher risk, higher reward. And Bleezo, there's no real good answer here because you got to kind of decide if you need higher risk, a big swing, you faced a guy that had Dak and CeeDee Lamb, whatever, you know what I mean? Then you probably swing with Brees Hall. Ramondre's a tad safer. Brees is just going to have 4 points or 25 points. So I would pick your poison there. Chat, are we going Brees Hall or Ramondre? Ramondre or Brees Hall? Please vote for Bleezo right now. Michael with a super chat, Moss or Singletary? I got Achane and Kyren starting. I'm going to go Moss, but it's, it's arguable, but Moss is proven. Singletary's looking good, but Moss is proven, but it could be closer than people think. 2 questions. 1, what percentage of Achane doubters are there? I would say 35%. They're really loud though. It feels like there's 70%, but it's because they're so upset about not owning him and missing out on him and being wrong about him and feeling bad about it that they're just loud. They're just really loud. So maybe it's 25-30%. Or because I don't know that you could say it's more than that. It could be something to where, okay, you think 1 out of every 12 people own them, right? Because there's 1 copy of every player in most fantasy football leagues. Some fantasy leagues have more copies of players, but there's 1 copy of each player in each fantasy league. So really, there could potentially be 11 Achane haters. Maybe it's 90%. I mean, it's hard to know. I just know that the people that are in doubt are loud. And what you'll also notice is any of the negative comments, the hate-driven comments, they're always from someone new. And they're always from some just-made account that's numbers, user 87654387659999432. Like it's always some brand new user that can't use his normal account, or he just stumbled upon the channel and wants to throw some hate. It's usually never somebody that's been here. Do I start Mahomes in the snow or Stroud? I probably go Mahomes, but let's check weather on Saturday evening. Achane, Dell, and Stroud are going to win. Yeah, they are. Appreciate you, Ray G, for the super chat. You're an absolute legend. Appreciate you. Kirkwood dropping a 20 watt on screen. Kirkwood, you are the man, the myth, the legend. Kirkwood.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Kirkwood, appreciate you, my boy. Kirkwood doing Kirkwood things. Kirkwood says we need Tony Pollard, TPO, find you, make it rain machine. Oh, we need to find you. I thought maybe this is TP, Tony. I didn't know what you were trying to say here. We need to find you a make it rain machine, Pickens or Garrett Wilson. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. Although Pickens is a decent play this week. We have had a rain machine, but I fired off so much that it breaks quickly. And so anything you buy on any cheapo, it just breaks in a millisecond. $10 hauler from Superfish. Superfish, appreciate you. Start Hurts. Where is this? Where is it at? Here we go. Start Hurts, Achane. Starting Hurts, Achane, Kyren, Kamara or Bijan. Probably Kamara by a hair. He's just such a good play with Olave likely out. If Olave plays, maybe I lean they're even. But Kamara with Olave out, probably get a lot of targets. Dell, Nico, Laporta, Dolphins D. Got 15 points from, let's see, who should I flex? Kamara, Lions, or Bijan, Jets. Okay, so flex? Who do you flex? Kamara or Bijan? It's crazy. That's a great team. I think Kamara's safer. He's safer. Bijan is potentially still a victim of the usage. It doesn't just come down to anything but that, and Kamara's not. And so rain or shine, down or up in the game, Kamara's going to get a heavy dose. So I would lean Kamara, but it's not an easy call. I hate the question because we love both of them so much. Goddard is a no-go. Who do I pick up? Otten, Juwan Johnson, Brevin Jordan, or Conklin? Otten probably. Otten's been pretty consistent. Not great options, but need one. Yeah, I'd say Otten. Otten's pretty solid. He'd probably get you like 3-4 receptions and about 40 yards in a worst case, which is, decent. Rock out. Chat, Purdy or Love might reign in Philly. Can we get a vote on this one? Purdy or Love, guys? Purdy or Love, drop it in the chat for Rock Out. Appreciate it. Rock Out needs your help. Negative. Ethan, you're on the line. You're live.
Schmitty, Charbonnet, crack a bottle, let your body waddle. I played them and I was feeling really good about it.
Pop open a nice
and what do you think about that JSN catch and how Herb Street says it goes to the one? I started cheering for the refs suddenly, and they did their job. So, but unfortunately, Charbonnet didn't get another TD. So,
yeah, I mean,
what do you think about that?
Look, we all love Charbonnet. It was a tough matchup that went his way. It's one reason I even caution, and in this case, there was some Charbonnet, yes, start Charbonnet, and some sit Charbonnet. The matchup's tough answers that I gave. Like, it was a mixed bag. It just depended on what people had, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I got all the Charbonnet calls right the night of that game. But, we love Charbonnet. We know the talent's there. He's been a top 10 potential running back talent-wise in our minds going into the draft. He gets drafted to Seattle. It dilutes the value a lot. And, we love him. But he does have two very tough matchups, and he's got a swollen knee that probably, if a miracle happened and he was going to play, he would have a tough matchup. My guess is he misses 2 or 3 weeks. So the question, that's my guess. I feel like Charbonnet's out a minimum of 2 or 3 weeks. When your knee is swollen, the swelling in your knee is a sign of, it's like airbags going off. It's to protect you. Your knee is saying, it's injured. I don't want any further damage. Release swelling. Let's protect this like an air cast. That's why when players drain the swelling, it's not really a good move. They do it to get back on the field, but your body's literally telling you that this is not good right now. We are not healthy. We're not ready to go. I'm going to inject a bunch of swelling around here to tell you not to move. I'm going to make your knee so it's not mobile, is what swelling does. Like if you swell your knee, you can't bend it. It's like that way it's protected. It doesn't move. It doesn't bend. And so there's very little chance he's ready for next week, let alone the next week. So the question is, how's Walker doing? Is Walker going to get back? If you own Charbonnet, you may not own Walker because it might be a standalone move that you had, and it was a good one for a week, but it is what it is. What's Walker's value? If Sharps is out, let's say Sharps is out 3 weeks, let's call it. This is hypothetical. If he's out 3 weeks, and Walker comes back, Walker gets a little bit of a bump, because now he doesn't have at least the shared workload, and his offense at least looked like it got on track for at least a week. So his tough schedules, it's a little concerning. It certainly would make for a tough start-sit question still. You know, hey, you're going up against Philly. Hey, you're going to get up against the Niners. But, you know, we'll have to see. But as far as Charbonnet goes, my thoughts, to answer your questions, I love JSN. I wish JSN's touchdown counted. I think, probably should have, I guess. And
hey, it proved the box score Bobby's right. They're right. They're always, they're a little saucy, a little sloppy.
They're a little sloppy. All right, Ethan, appreciate you. Later, bro.
All right, have a good one.
Blind Larry. What's up, Larry?
I got 4 players. I need 3. Ridley, Dell, Watson, or damn, I forgot him. But I know I'm starting Dell. I guess.
I'm gonna need the answer to that.
Waddle. I'm sorry.
Waddle. Okay. I was like, I can guess. Ridley, Dell. Dell appears to be full. If that changes, we'll change our mind. I probably would roll with Waddle over Watson, but this one's the dilemma. And chat, can you vote on this one as well? Christian Watson, or Waddle? I'd lean Waddle. I think the Dolphins are going to have a nice day. The question is, do they just run? It's possible, but Watson's crafty, but for those that need him, he's crafty, and you play him, and he's capable. He's got back-to-back weeks with touchdowns. He's kind of been just missing on accumulating touchdowns every single game, every single week. And people, the box score Bobbies, don't know that. But he's been in a position to score every single week. He's just been unlucky, and it's been nonstop, bad luck. And you have to give up on him at a point, like on your bench at least, not to cut him. And so I understand where everybody was at on him. I wasn't ripping anybody by benching him until a further notice. But now that he's back, he certainly has the ability to explode. But for you, Waddle's almost too good of a wide receiver 3 option. So I'd probably say Waddle, just assuming he's healthy and everything's good to go. It looks like the chat says Waddle. Watson with Reed out, says Travis Rowe. Waddle. So that's the vote.
All right, I appreciate you.
All right, Blind Larry, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Theo from Illinois, you are live.
Yeah, Smitty, I'm confused by this wild card draft. So my team that I drafted was Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Austin Eckler, Kyren, Amon-Ra, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, and Tank Dell. I don't know how this is possible.
Wild card draft? Oh, on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty?
Yeah.
So you're drafting playoff players. So if the Texans don't make the playoffs, you don't get any of those players.
Oh, playoff players. Okay.
Yeah, wild card, bro. It's wild card's playoffs.
I thought it was playoffs. for fantasy.
You thought
football
you were raking people over the coals when you were drafting non-playoff
Yeah.
players. You just threw $5 into the pool for everybody else, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you can always look at the ADP rankings. They'll guide you if something's fishy about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like
I was confused.
Yeah, what you want to do with the wild card. So if you're drafted on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, guys, I'll drop the link right here. Here's the link so you guys can all get in on that Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. If you're drafting, what you want to do is here are the wild card games right here, and here's the actual playoff bracket. You know, so let's put it like that. Here's the playoff bracket. This is like the actual playoffs in this box right here. Okay, so the wild card games, you ideally want to draft a team. Let's say, trying to think of, let's say the Buffalo Bills squeak in, or let me put it on the right side. Let's say the Buffalo Bills squeak in, okay, in the AFC. If they're a wild card team, which they have to be if the Dolphins clinch the division, they're a team that can go all the way through the entire bracket here. And so that's a good team if you believe the Buffalo Bills will gain one of the wild card spots. Philly's going to have a bye, so Philly's going to get you no points in wild card weekend, and you have to get through wild card weekend to be able to advance. So you have to do a combination, and it's a very tough contest, very strategy oriented. You got to do a nice balance of getting wild card players that are going to play multiple games, and then the mix of it all.
Okay,
all right,
that makes sense. Thank you.
All right, Theo, go tear it up. Later. He thought he was just blasting everybody to pieces. He's like, I am just going to town. JJ's sitting there. He's drafting JJ. He's drafting guys that aren't going to make the playoffs. He's like, I'm going to do it live. We got a $20 hauler from Rick. Rick, you monster. Rick, you absolute monster.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Rick, appreciate you, my guy. Rick coming in strong. Rick says, Smitty, did not do the Purdy Kamara trade trying to replace Fields by non-PPR 14 team. Good thing I cut Geno yesterday. Yikes. Do I now go Minshew, Ritter, or Flacco? I go Minshew. Minshew's pretty decent. I'm sorry about Geno. Not very many people could have said that was going to happen if anybody. 4 touchdowns against Dallas. Like you can't beat yourself up over that. I'm sure you're not. Minshew's the best play here, though. I think he's the safest. For some reason, I feel like Downs is going to get a long touchdown. It's going to be a pretty decent day for you in terms of Minshew. So I'd probably go Minshew. $5 hauler, Kyren, Bijan, Achane, Waddle, Pittman, Olave, Devonta Smith, Nico need 2 RBs and 2 wide receivers and a flex. You're going to go Kyren. You're going to go Achane. You're going to go Devonta Smith. And you're going to probably go, man, if it's me, I'm going to go, if it's me, Olave I don't think will play. It's either Nico. I like Pittman, but it's either Nico or Waddle. Chat, can we vote Nico or Waddle? Waddle or Nico? Let's answer this question. That would be your second wide receiver. Your flex is going to be Bijan Robinson. Pretty easy call for me. And Connor, appreciate you. Kyler, Moss, Bijan, AJB, Lamb, McBride, Olave, Rashad White, and Nico full PPR. I need to set a starting lineup. What would you do? 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. You're going, obviously, Kyler. So it's Bijan and Moss. That's pretty set in stone. AJB and Lamb. That's set in stone. It really just comes down to your flex and how do you sit Rashad White. I think I like Nico. Nico could outscore him, but I would go Rashad White. He feels pretty guaranteed for touches. Easy dilemma in terms of the choices you have. Seabass, what's up? You're live. Thank you, Connor.
What's up, buddy?
Yo. What can I do for you?
Okay, I'm in a situation. Here it is. I'm 6-6, and I need this. It's a spot start in my flex. Do I roll Curtis Samuel versus Washington or Njoku against the Rams?
Well, Curtis Samuel plays for Washington, but I would say, I would say.
Here's my thinking, man. Miami supposedly plays outside well. Samuel plays a slot. He looked large last week.
Yeah, I would say if he's healthy and he seems to be, and as long as there's nothing that creeps up, I mean, he's a little utility knife. He's like a little slash. They love Samuel. I'm leaning Samuel.
And he looked good last week.
I think he's good for like 7 to 10 points, and I think Njoku is good for 4 to 12. You know, like could he have a touchdown?
I need to win, dude. I'm 6-6.
Yeah, go Curtis Samuel, but I don't love those options. I don't know if there's anybody else available, but I don't love those options. I think
really
if Downs got dropped, I like Downs more. Yeah.
No options, dude. It's
okay.
Like gun to the head. Who do you got?
That I go with the wide receiver, bro. But it's tough, you know. And Njoku's got what? I mean, maybe Flacco checks, you know, or safety nets him. You know, who knows? But I wouldn't bank on Flacco. I wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll Samuel. Like he looked like a stud. He looked like he was finally healthy last week. They lit him up. You know, Miami plays outside well, slot not so much. Fuck it. Roll
right,
Samuel.
Later, Seabass.
Later,
Carl, what can I do for you, Carl? Carl, hello. All right, Carl's gone. Smitty, Thielen or Garrett Wilson? I'm going to go Garrett Wilson, but God, man, I mean, it's just going to be my luck that Thielen bounces back. Also, flex pick Javonte Reed or Hall. In this choice, I'm going to go flex pick 2. I'll rank them because I don't know if you need to. I'm going to go Hall, then Jaden Reed. If I got to rank them, if there's 2 needed, if it's 1, it's Hall. Flex Jay Warren or Pickens Warren. Even though Warren may have lost the edge that he had, he was still very usable, and he's still certainly flex-worthy right now. I still like Warren a lot. I think people are going to freak out. They're going to be freak-out Freddies on Warren. Similar to how people are freak-outs on Devon Achane. That's what I'm talking about. Lower it down, boys. Set her right there. Slow. Good. Appreciate you.
Devon Achane, please report to your shuttle to Saturn. Your shuttle is leaving.
Prepare for departure. Touchdown probability high.
What's up, Carl?
Oh, hey there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Carl, are you there? Is your phone working?
Can you
call from the fax machine again?
Hold on. I'll just call back there.
What do you want? What do you got, Carl? Let's try and help. Let's try and help you. Okay. I don't know. Carl's calling from the Denny's on one of the world's last, working payphones, but it sounded like he was in the corner of a diner. Somebody had smashed the phone receiver. Maybe when someone called him and said, "Hey, Achane's back," and the Achane hater was on the phone, and he smashed the phone, and poor Carl picks up one of the last working payphones in the world, dials in, puts his last. What is it, 35 cents or is it 50 cents to use a payphone? Puts his last, maybe it's $1. Puts his last dollar in, and I can't even hear him. I can't even hear Carl. Poor Carl. Carl, call back in. I want to help you. Taysom or Freiermuth. This is a crapshoot coin toss, bro. Taysom, if Olave's out, it's like there's a lot of upside. But Freiermuth got double-digit targets. Double-digit targets, I mean... That's solid. That's safe. Taysom's higher risk, higher reward, Cameron, but Freiermuth is a little safer potentially with the new floor that I think he probably has. But I don't know. I mean, I probably rolled the dice with Taysom. Don't tell anybody. Bro, PPR, Eckler, Bijan, Evans, Achane, Smith. I mean, it's easy. Eckler and Achane are locked in. Bijan's locked in. There's 3 guys right there. Eckler, Bijan, Achane, and it comes down to Smith and Evans for me. God, Evans is hard to sit. You could sit Eckler if you wanted, but I don't think I would. That would be a ballsy move, but in PPR, Evans, Smith, Achane, and I'm not sitting Eckler though. I think Eckler's gonna have a day. I think Eckler's gonna bounce back. I think all the look, drafting Eckler was a big avoid for me, and that proved to be correct. But I think buying low on Eckler was still a smart move for everybody that did it. I still believe in him. I'm gonna say Bijan, Eckler, Achane, and then chat. You decide Evans or Smith, Smith or Evans. Please vote for Michael. Smith or Evans, Evans or Devonta Smith. Please vote in the chat for Michael. I'm leaning toward Devonta Smith, leaning. Then again, the matchup isn't, I don't know. Matchup isn't the best, but maybe he's the one that he breaks free, because it's like A.J. Brown's the focal point. I don't know, bro. I kind of feel like there's a lot of upside. Taysom Ephraim, thank you for that question. Juice with the super here. Pacheco, Javonte starting Achane at a boy. Pacheco. I mean, this isn't even a question, to be honest with you, bro. Pacheco's playing out of his mind. Like, what are you going to do? Sit Pacheco for Javonte, who we hope gets volume, but plays in a three-headed monster committee that's not even all that productive? Help Kirk or Kupp. You don't need help. You don't need help, Yes. Kupp's not even on the injury report. What are we doing here? I mean, Kirk could outscore anybody at any moment. It's possible. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk if Kirk beats Kupp in a Week 13 face-off, but I'm going Kupp, and I'm not even hesitating. Not even hesitating at all. Like, whatsoever, bro. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And anybody that does hesitate later and says, I shouldn't have done that.
Action.
He's a box score, Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score, Bobby. He's a box score, Bobby. He's very sloppy. Bobby.
Appreciate every single one of you here. How many people we still got in the building right now? We've got 275 people. Punch that thumb up button. Only 122 likes in the building. Hit that thumb up button on your way in, on your way out, whatever the case may be. Kamara, Rice, Singletary in that order, says Roe. Travis, I think I agree with his order. Whatever the question was, I agree with that order. So appreciate every single one of you. Probably gonna head out for now. I'll be back tonight to do some live drafting, so I'm gonna take advantage of a kind of early show, bailing out, jumping out 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's still longer than anybody else that's doing this the way we do it. So I'll be back. We'll be doing live drafts. If you want to draft with us tonight, please hit this link now and sign up in advance so you don't miss out using code Smitty, or this link that I just dropped will enter code Smitty for you, and you'll double your first deposit up to $100. And if you don't do it now, you're not going to be able to get in on time. So hit the link. I'll drop the link one more time. There it is. It's in the chat. Hit the link. It's also in the description of the video and almost every video I have. So if you're wondering how you get the link, I'm not watching the live, Smitty. I'm watching the replay. Just go to the description of the video. Underdog Fantasy link is right at the top. Click it. Sign up. Double your first deposit. Supports the channel, number one. Doing that helps support me and what we do here. So if you want to support me at all, even if you don't think you're going to do much Underdog, you think you'll be surprised at how fun it is. You just do a high or low on one of them. I'll give you the answer of what my favorite high or low is walking into Saturday night. But it supports the channel, so do it live. Last caller on the way out the door. Ron, what can I do for you?
I'm a box for Bobby.
Love it, dude.
What's up? Yeah. Yeah, box score Bobbies they're everywhere. Box score Bobbies are pretty much also Achane haters. Achane haters aren't always box score Bobbies. Or I'm sorry, box score Bobbies aren't always Achane haters, but all Achane haters are box score Bobbies.
I'm not an Achane hater. I don't know if I'd play him this week though.
It depends on your option, but like here's so box score Bobby. These are box score Bobbies.
He'll be on a pitch count.
I'm dropping a little graphic here. He may or may not be. I think to assume that, though, you're running the risk of being sadly disappointed. Box score, but also remember, pitch count doesn't necessarily apply to him as much because he's a 40 to 50%, share of the offense player anyway. Like 10, 12 carries is what he gets, But all Achane owners live in here. Achane haters. All Achane haters, I'm sorry. Haters, not owners. Inside the box score Bobby. So you can be a box score Bobby and still love Achane, but you cannot be an Achane hater and not be a box score Bobby. They are one and the same. They're related.
How's your back?
It's all right. It gets better. I throw it out and it gets better.
Did you say you're building a pole building?
Terry, appreciate the $10 hauler. Terry says, love you, Smitty. Love you back, Terry. Appreciate you. I'm a pull-up bar. Go watch my stories. It's a pull-up bar. I created on my Instagram.
Pull-up bar.
Yeah, my Instagram stories. I got a pull-up bar.
Pole barn.
No, here I'll show you. I'll put it up here. I'll put it up here for everybody to watch. Hold on, let me find. You guys can see Indy too. Indy's doing it live. Indy's doing it. I also got my ice bath in this video, so I've been taking ice baths.
Oh, really?
Man, when I do an ice bath, when I do a cold plunge, my back is 80% better for like 2 or 3 hours. It's so great. It's so amazing. All right, hold on. Let me pull it in here. Here is the video should be coming in here any second. I sent it to myself. Gonna take a second. Here it is. Enjoy. All right, so building the pull-up bar right now that I'm going to install back here behind the basketball hoop. Haven't done anything back here. Tomorrow I'm having them come in. I don't know if they'll finish tomorrow, but putting in turf just like this. This turf right here. There's the golf course. This is going in the back corner. Have them do all this. Get the ice bath over here. Get the block of ice ready to go. Get the sucker cold. Indy, say hi to the people. Say hi, people. Take a lap. Take a lap. But just made this right now. So I got to pause on the pull-up bar. It's a pull-up bar. It's outdoors. It's going to be tall. Even if it's 1.5 feet into the ground or 1 3/4 into the ground, it should be. I have to maybe even leap up a little bit to grab it. So I'm going to be doing muscle ups by. I've got two of the world's strongest. Let me see if I can get off this real quickly. Hold on a second. There we go. 2 of the world's strongest, fitness people in the world are going to. And I'm going to have content on this. So I'm going to have videos around it and such. More to come on how that's going to unveil. But 2 of the world's most renowned fitness people around fitness and pull-ups specifically are helping me get to the point where I can do a muscle up. A muscle up is where you pull yourself above the bar like this. And you just go up on top of the bar. It's so hard to do. I don't know what the percentage of people in the world. I would imagine it's like 0.0 something percent of people in the world can do a muscle up. Even at my most fit time in my life, I don't think I could do a muscle up. So it's going to be a long road, but I'm gonna document that. It's going to be fun. A lot of it will be on IG, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But that's going to be fun. But I'm going to put this in the backyard because I have pull-up bars here, but I have no clearance to be doing that in my house, because all my pull-up bars are like a foot from the ceiling. I've got I got a whole gym in the living room, and I got a pull-up Gronk bar here that hangs from the ceiling, so you can't do anything. So muscle up can be done outside. So. Anyway.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And once they're done with the yard, we'll be doing live streams from the backyard a little bit more. So that'll be fun.
I thought your yard. I thought you completed that a long time ago. I mean, a few months ago, but I guess you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't finish the back, and I just waited on it. But we're doing it now. So tomorrow and Sunday, and then Monday I imagine they'll touch it up and it'll be done. So by Tuesday. It should be good, or by Monday Night Football it might be. So We'll be doing some live streams out there. All right, Ron.
Yeah.
Anything else?
All right. No, I just calling in to check up. So that's it.
All right.
Later, chat.
Later, Ron Navy, to the moon. Daniel, appreciate you being here. Ice bath. Yes, Birdman, it's good. Ice bath is really good. Supposedly you live a lot longer too, if you do ice baths. Thank you, Prods. Appreciate you. There's some data, don't quote me on this, but something like 5 to 7 years you'll live longer if you're doing ice baths every day, for a regular amount of time. Like I'm sure if you did it at the very end of your life, you wouldn't necessarily extend you, but if like early on in your life you do ice baths every day, there are people that suggest that you could live like 5 to 7 years longer. I'm not a doctor, but that's just what I've heard. So that's not workout advice. I'm just telling you what I've heard, and I believe it, man. It releases so many things in your body. Your body basically thinks it's like struggling, when you're in 38-degree water, and so you basically, your body starts reacting and releasing, like I think it's like brown fat or whatever, and so you lose a lot of weight doing it too. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for all the super chats. Looks like we got one more from Shoddy. Please send prayers my cousin's way. She just had a baby last week, and today she is in the ER with the brain aneurysm. Man, I'm sorry, Shoddy. Guys, drop a prayer emoji for Shoddy. Appreciate you. We support you. Everybody drop a prayer emoji for Shoddy, for his cousin. Keep us updated, Shoddy. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I will see you all tonight for drafting. Don't forget, here's the link, Underdog Fantasy. Click the link. Get signed up now. It supports the channel. Please support the channel and hit that link, and we'll be drafting tonight. If you want to draft, you need to hit the link. Breece Hall, Thielen, Addison, or Warren. Give me probably Breece Hall. But Warren and Breece Hall are pretty solid. Those are good choices. All right, see you all tonight. Prayers up for Shoddy. Drop a prayer emoji, please. Ron Navy gifting 10 gifted memberships.
To the moon.
Thank you, Ron. 10. Nick got one. Texas Made 88 got one. Appreciate you, Ron. Thank you to my $20 haulers. Everybody that dropped a 20 wad, appreciate you. Everybody that dropped a super chat, period, I appreciate you. Rick Moore, appreciate you, Rick Moore. G Money in the building, G Money. Joe Salters, thank you, Joe, for dropping your 20 wad. See you all tonight. We're drafting tonight.
Devon Achane, please report to your shuttle to Saturn. Your shuttle is leaving.
Prepare for departure. Touchdown probability high.